I know most cyclists focus on those marginal gains in terms of speed. Myself being a bike YouTuber, I'm always looking for marginal filming gains. Is that a thing? In this video, I'm going to give you guys a review of this brand new crazy looking bike specific bracket by Insta360. Full disclosure, Insta360 did send this to me to review, but I'm otherwise not getting paid, and all these thoughts and opinions are my own. I'm constantly experimenting with different ways to film on bike to make videos for the YouTube channel. As a bike YouTuber, I have to say I'm actually kind of impressed with this thing. Just to give you guys a point of reference, this is something I hacked together about a year and a half ago that was trying to accomplish the same thing as this, but is way heavier and actually didn't work so well. Essentially what this is a handlebar mount which allows you to screw on this pretty snazzy carbon fiber selfie stick. It's a little bit on the short end, but is far enough to get a third person kind of perspective. It's made out of aluminum, so it's fairly strong yet lightweight. In addition to this 1/4-20 where you thread in the selfie stick, there are two additional kind of GoPro finger mounts, if you will. So you can mount a computer, a light, another camera if you want to get crazy. But at the heart of it is this main 1/4-20 right here. To attach this on your bike, it's pretty straightforward. It has two handlebar clamps and two kind of thumb screws to tighten around your handlebar. It will only work around round handlebars, so if you have some weird arrow shape or carbon handlebars, this probably isn't for you. I tested this on my Crest Bora, and it's got some Ritchie VentureMax bars, and it clamped on perfectly fine to the kind of fat part of the handlebar. There are a couple nice thoughtful touches here. It's just not metal on metal. There is kind of this rubberized pad both here and here, and this does a couple things. It doesn't mar your handlebar, but it actually prevents it from rotating. I used this big honking thing a while ago, and it's a Manfrotto super clamp with this kind of articulating arm, and at the end I would attach a camera, and that was one of the biggest challenges of this, is that it kept rotating. Despite the fact that this clamp is fairly strong, I think a big part of it is just the general weight of this. This is fairly light, and although these aren't the biggest, herkiest kind of clamps out there, during my test rides, the bracket itself didn't tilt down whatsoever. After you get this clamped on, you take this carbon selfie stick, yes, it's very roady, and you screw it onto the end here. There's a flat washer as well as a spring clip washer that keeps it under tension so it doesn't rotate. On the business end is where you would screw on your 360 camera. In my case, I use the Insta360 1X2 a lot, and you see it. You see these shots in all my bike review videos. So this is gear that I actually use. A couple of best practices, if you will. If you can, you want to screw this fairly tight and have the cameras pointing up and down. It doesn't always line up, so there is some kind of finagling you have to do, but I find that puts the invisible seam line in a really good place so it doesn't look weird. Another really well thought out feature of this mount is you can adjust the angle of, let's call it the unicorn horn, if you will. You can do it vertically for whatever reason. You probably don't want to do that in case you crash and stab yourself. You can do it straight out. When I rode, I put it slightly facing upwards, so it was a little bit more flattering angle, not like straight up the nostril, if you will. But if you notice, there are these kind of detents here which will lock it into place. So once you find the angle you like, you screw it down, and because of that detent, it won't slip when you hit a bump, which is pretty good. So this is definitely more of a road bike device. This isn't something you'd want to take mountain biking or on like hardcore off-road in case you crash and then stab yourself somehow with this thing. I did take it on some light gravel just to see how much this would flex. And there was some movement. The camera just adds a little bit of mass here. But surprisingly, the footage was, for the most part, I think, pretty usable. I probably wouldn't use like 20 minutes straight of this footage, but if you're looking for that interesting angle, maybe you're doing a quick piece to camera, that's actually an awesome use case for this. If you need to self-film, maybe use an external mic. And then you too can be your own GCN presenter on a budget. In addition to filming yourself, you can do all those things you can do with a 360 camera and like pan and change the camera angle. You can get a shot of your riding partner, scenery, your tire, whatever. I also think these mounts are pretty useful. My other camera I shoot with is a GoPro Hero 10, so I can see putting it on a magnetic mount here, so then I can have a piece to camera or B-roll cam as I ride. At the same time, I'm capturing 360 footage, so you can get all the cameras. All right, so there are a lot of positive things about this mount. It's actually a lot better than I expected. I feel like most companies kind of skimp on bike-specific accessories, but this feels pretty thought out. I like that the clamps are big enough for actual like road bars that people use, not just like little tiny clamps for cruiser bars. I love that there are these rubber pads that help with anti-rotation. And I think it's pretty smart to have additional GoPro mounts so you can mount things like a computer and all that stuff. In terms of dislikes or concerns, I have two. One is, although these clamps are really good and I've not had them slip, nor has this kind of bumped out of its indent, I do err on the cautious paranoid side because I'm really good at breaking things. And if you kind of slept on the install and didn't tighten these enough, there is a chance for this to rotate down into your wheel. I would have liked to see some kind of safety strap put under here and under your stem. So it acts as a fail-safe anti-rotation device. So this will never ever go down because there is an auxiliary strap holding the whole thing up. The second kind of quirk and dislike is when riding, even on pavement, I found that the Insta360 would slowly unwind itself. You'll see me a couple times when I'm filming, I'm reaching out and retightening this. What's happening is the rod itself isn't unscrewing, but it is unscrewing here. That's something to be aware of. You always want to make sure that this is pretty tight. I would recommend keeping note of kind of the orientation of the lens, and if you see it go slightly askew, immediately turn it back into place. There are some handy thumb grips here, which do let you get good purchase and really crank it down, but that is something to be aware of. Overall, I didn't know exactly what to expect for another bike-specific accessory, but this is actually really good, and I think I'm going to end up using it for the YouTube channel. Usually when you guys see me filming myself, I've got a selfie stick in one hand, just kind of loosely holding it. It creates a lot of hand fatigue, but this is a svelte enough system where I can leave this clamp body on the bike and then unscrew the carbon stick as needed. So what do you guys think of this clamp? Are any of you guys shooting 360? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this camera content, let me know. I'm actually a big camera nerd as well as a bike nerd. As always, everybody, keep the supple side down.